See if we can save another exile. Back to the alcove. You once again find yourself amid the serene walkways of Moonlight Alcove. Here you can await the time until the stars deign to shine for you again. Crystal seeks Tizo. You asked Sandra to administer one of her special trials for Tizo. I dare think I remember something of that imp. He certainly stood out from all his ilk, although that really is not saying much. Well, let us bring him forth. Tizo soon appears in heat of the summons. Tizo seems to be prepared for whatever lies ahead. The apparition Sandra appears and unfastens her mask. Listen well, imp, you answer to me here. Tizo indicates his understanding and is prepared to begin Sandra's trial. You know the formalities, of course. Show me then what you have learned thus far about the rites. Here in this trial it shall be just you, my beyonders, and your lovely reader. Let us see now how you fare. Alright, he implodes. I think my goal should be to kill everyone and then go for the goal. Damn it. Gosh, this is so hard. Tizo has like no offense. Alright, one more. Oh my god. Freaking nomads. Okay. Tizo is excited to have completed Sandra's challenge and awaits her approval. A worthwhile effort, imp. Your performance was sufficient and you passed my test. Your predecessor may well have approved. Thus, congratulations are in order to you and to your lovely reader. Now, farewell. Tizo's happy to be back and wonders what it is that Sandra granted you. Tizo flutters and zip abilities cost less stamina than usual. Nice. Leave me alone, reader. I'm in no mood to talk to you at this time. She's concerned about something, but you cannot sense what, and she refuses to say. I see little need to keep on blathering about to you, as once I did. I should not have let you in. Begone. My services are yours, but this place is my own. Huh. Until our next appointment. We've returned to a place of respite. Please make yourselves comfortable such as you can. We are at the mercy of the stars, but I expect they shall shine bright again in time. As for me, I shall return by then, for there is something I must do. There from atop the sacred mountain you gaze down into the abyss that is the downside. You wonder when the stars shall align themselves once more. There upon the sacred mountain, you and your companions once more wait the night the stars begin to shine again. The plan of which you are all a part is set in motion. The Commonwealth, a nation that stood almost for 1,000 years, is in turmoil. If your companions return there through the liberation rites, what sort of place shall they be coming back to? Many moons pass. One evening amid a downpour with no interest whatsoever in relenting, Wilfred requests everybody to convene. You understand he has an announcement of some sort. Soon everyone is assembled, and Wilfred regards the group. Everyone. There's an aspect of our plan which I've not talked about with you at length. Look around at your companions. What do you see in them? He lets the question hang a moment in the air. I'll tell you what I see in all of you, in all of us. I see in all of us a living vision of the 8 scribes themselves, each one among them hailing from the different tribes which later formed our Commonwealth. My observation does not come from pompousness, I think. Rather, I believe the scribes themselves desired, or shall I say desire, such a course. Together they created all this ceremony of which we're now a part. The exiles liberated through their rites went on to found the Commonwealth based on their values and their teachings. Thus, an instrumental aspect of our plan is to embody the spirit and the culture from which that Commonwealth arose so many centuries ago. That way, when we are all united on the other side in solidarity, the people all shall see that we reflect the values that they yet cherish in their hearts, not merely our own. Ugh, that came out weird. Anyway, we're still missing one key representative on behalf of Molten Melith. And I happen to know a certain bog dweller who I think shall fit the part most splendidly indeed. 4th of the 8 scribes of the Book of Rites, known as the Impassioned or the Wild Witch. The mistress of fire and dust claimed she could shatter the world with a flick of her wrist. He motions for someone to approach. A certain bog dweller slithers forward. Bertrude, you recognize her straight away. It is my pleasure to introduce to you a dear old friend of mine, whom I believe you've met. Welcome to the Nightwings, Bertrude. The bog dweller called Big Bertrude utters something guttural by way of greeting. We are to understand that you require further aid from us. Yes, dear Bertrude, the time has come. Bertrude here is far and away the most accomplished alchemist who I have ever met. You soon will find that she knows much about the rites as well. Bertrude looks you and your fellow exiles each in turn. We frighten ye, apparent. Everyone is silent as Bertrude searches their expressions. Then tremble, small ones, and hold well thy tongues, lest we remove them. She takes her leave without another word. Please excuse Bertrude's blunt manner. I guarantee she shall more than make up for it. Everyone disperses. It seems now that the ranks of the Nightwings are complete. Now then, my boy. Perhaps you notice that the stars are bright once more up there behind those stubborn rains. Meaning it is time that we got back to business. Indeed, once more several stars shine bright within the cold and storming sky. The stars themselves await the will of the Nightwings. Three rights till the next liberation. I don't really think it matters who we decide to go against. We'll just go against these guys. So we're going for that Sir Deluge and the Pyre Hearts again. He technically may be a knight, but he sure seems out of sorts. You and Hedwyn go over what you know of Sir Deluge's past, some of it from tales loudly told by one Sir Gilman. Sir Deluge, a worm knight of the Sea Dominion and former ally of Sir Gilman. He lacks the sort of courage for which his kind is known, yet somehow leads the Pyre Hearts anyway. Some worms born under the Sea Dominion's waters sought life's meaning on dry land. The Commonwealth recognized their chivalrous traditions and soon put them to use. Sir Deluge was just another bit of frontline fodder in the war against the High-Wing remnants. Yet time and again he distinguished himself for one simple reason: he would not die. His unusual instinct for self-preservation kept him safe in many battles, and over time he was repeatedly promoted for lack of any real competition. Then in the Battle of the Spiral Sanctum, when retreat certainly was not an option, Sir Deluge retreated anyway. This was a breaking point, and he was at last sentenced into exile. In the downside, he sought water, where he made contact with Sir Gilman and other members of his kind. They all saluted him as their superior. The other knights had little choice but to respect his rank. As the Pyre Hearts, they conduct the rites in the name of their great hero, the Under King Oris, while adhering to their strict code. So even though Deluge is a bit of a pushover, his companions shouldn't be ignored. Anyway, I better get some rest. See you at dawn, my friend. You say goodnight to Hedwyn in turn. There's no time to make flight preparations now, though in the morning you will press on once again. Bertrude's decks. Unusual etched cards depicting the Greater Titans, probably for curses and enchantments. Rites of Flame. With these blackened nails do I hereby inscribe the Rites of Flame. The bylaw shall be written here in full. We the Eight decree the rites a test of one's true worth in body, mind, and spirit. Now until the stars abandon us, this shall be binding law within the downside. Those deemed worthy in the rites are to regain their freedom from the downside and return from whence they came. Exiles shall conduct the rites as one of 9 triumvirates, and look toward the stars for guidance on their path. Exiles shall bear this book as status. Essential structure. The essential structure of a rite shall be as follows. Where chosen by the stars within the dark of night shall 2 triumvirates stand in opposition, far enough afield, besides their consecrated pyres symbolizing their resolve. In each triumvirate the 3 shall act as one, to demonstrate their trust in one another, not just in themselves. Triumvirates shall endeavor to extinguish the pyre of their adversary, whose flames are only to be staunched through a celestial orb descended from the stars. Whosoever pyre remains burning shall prevail. Whosever pyre remains burning shall prevail. The triumvirates are to disperse. Searching the stars. We, the Eight, have seen the turning of the stars from now until the ending of our age. Heed their guidance and ours. The stars make many cyclic turns. The rites commence at their behest upon celestial landmarks where the downside's greater titans fell before the heavens. Bearing this, the book bestowed on your triumvirate, you, the reader, shall perceive under which stars you are to congregate. Hey, Jack Plays, welcome. Follow where they lead, as your adversaries shall. If either of you fails to appear, then neither of you walks the path. Whether you prevail or fail, from that point the stars shall guide you on. So many new ones. Before each rite. The rite shall not commence unless the necessary preparations are complete at a celestial landmark ere the stars align. Exiles shall conduct the rites bearing this book, of which there are but 40 copies, each bound in astral hide. Exiles shall wear the sacred raiments fashioned in our likeness at the summit of Mount Aladiel. Their identities are to be concealed, for they shall represent us all. Exiles shall set a metal sigil for their pyre and consecrate the grounds using the words, "The 8 scribes gave their freedom so that we may yet have ours. The heavens shall respond when all is set." Law of 3. During the rite, each triumvirate shall act as one unerringly and without question. The disobedient shall suffer banishment or permanent expulsion. Exiles shall move as of a single mind to demonstrate their faith and recognize that they, as we the Eight, cannot prevail alone. Their worth shall be determined both by their actions and their peers. Triumvirates lacking experience in this may designate a reader, whose focus on this book may help the others to coordinate. However, only those who shall conduct the rites firsthand shall walk the path towards enlightenment and become eligible to regain their freedom. The Burning Pyre. At the appointed time, at the aligning of the stars, the heavens shall rain down upon the ground sufficiently prepared, and thus the two opposing pyres shall be set ablaze. Thus shall commence the rite. Triumvirates are to protect their pyres as they would their lifeblood. Lifeblood itself is never to be shed, before, during, or after any rite, lest the disobeyers suffer permanent expulsion. Exile is injury enough. The rite is an act of mercy. Fear not the purifying flame. Plunge into it headlong and without fear, for you shall be protected by the stars themselves. Seek freedom in the flame. The Aura. Exiles bearing the raiments in this book reveal their hidden inner aura in the color of their flame. The aura is the exile's solitary weapon in the rites. Should one's adversary cross one's aura, the adversary shall be banished. Banishment is fleeting nothingness. Seek the pyre's light and thus make your return. The exile's presence shapes the aura. Exiles gain greater auras while standing side by side with their triumvirates, for we gain strength together. Exiles may cast their aura through sheer force of focus on this book. The Celestial Orb. As the two flames are lit, so shall the Celestial Orb fall from the heavens. But one such orb shall be availed by the stars, requiring triumvirates to vie for it. Its cosmic connection to the flames, the raiments in this book, bestows the necessary qualities for its bearer to prevail. Effortlessly sails the orb between the three in a triumvirate. It seeks the grasp of whosoever acts among the three. Hey, thanks for dropping in, Jay. There's a lot of reading going on right now, but we might get to some action in a minute. We'll see. And I would like to play like some League or PUBG or something later tonight if you want to join me. Once grasped, the orb shall draw within it all the bearer's aura, fueled by the triumvirate's own flame. It is to be cast into the flame. The Path. In each rite we gain enlightenment, whether we prevail or we fail. Indeed, through failure do we tend to learn the most valued lessons, provided we survive. None among us have prevailed without end. Alright, that'll be perfect timing then. Exiles who walk the path towards enlightenment shall at times be struck by an epiphany and achieve mastery in some respect. Choose well amongst these blessings we bestow. Thus you may yet achieve your potential and surpass your adversaries. Whenever you prevail, your triumvirate earns favor. In time, the triumvirate with the most favor shall be summoned to the liberation rite to earn a chance at freedom. Then the cycle shall begin anew. Last page. The liberation rite takes place upon the fall of Solium under a blooded moon witnessed by the heralds from the stars. There the most favored triumvirate shall confront the one which we appoint. These two triumvirates first shall pass through Scribe's Gate, where their worth shall be assessed under the stars. Only the most enlightened exiles within each triumvirate may be anointed for a chance of freedom. Two of their companions shall support them whilst they strive. The anointed champion of the triumvirate which prevails then shall plunge into the shimmer pool and return in glory. Woo! Bertrude. You find Big Bertrude looking about the black wagon in a disapproving way. She fixes her gaze on you. The expression does not change. Ugh, such a clutter added to this wagon since we looked upon it last. Unsightly. We remember thee, from our abode in flagging hands. Then thou must be the reading one to whom Sandalwood referred. She moves in close, studying you. You recall that the mere touch of a bog crone of the southern bogs can induce paralysis or worse. A distant region of the Commonwealth left well alone despite technically being part of the nation. The cold and forbidding marshlands are home to the bog dwellers of Sar, colloquially known as crones. That one such as thee can extract meaning from that tome. 'Twas a feat we wish to witness for ourselves. Thy flesh has seen but the smallest fraction of the years which ours withstood, and yet we are expected to believe that thou canst understand the Book of Rites. This reminds me of that whomstead it of meme. Then she backs away, for someone else has joined you. Hail, Bertrude, madam. Is everything to your liking at this time, or is there something more which you require? We've been unable to locate a supply of rotworm gizzard extract among thy belongings. Other than that, we shall lodge no complaint at present. It is possible that Wolfred has a small supply among his possessions here. If he would care to accompany me, we may yet procure some. That would be agreeable with us. Then after you, madam. As they depart, you think you see the lone minstrel nod his head your way. Continue the journey. You rise early that morning, though Bertrude is already awake. She scowls at you. Good morning, reader. Bertrude, I trust your stay has not been too uncomfortable? Nay, Sandalwood. The comforts of this place are not for us. Fly us forth from here to lower ground. Let us get on with all this. The reader here shall do so. Once the group is ready, I thank you for your patience. Soaring far above the Sklorian shore, you notice Pymitha gazing down at the frozen cliffs below. A frozen oasis tucked between the chaos of Wakingwood and the sacred Mount Aladio. A place to pause and reflect before a grueling mountain climb. That damned place down there. I like it least of all. I think among everywhere we've been. I'm thankful that there's been no reason to return. Reminds me of my home is all. The Highwing remnants. We all grew accustomed to the thinner air amid the cliffs that breaches the clouds above your commonwealth. But it was not the nicest place. Little wonder that my sister settled for a rather warmer base of operations in this land, there by the nest of Trista. Anyway, I'm pleased to have to spend as little time as possible near here. Let's fly on by and go about our business. The hidden glade of Lu is nigh impossible to find on foot, though there it lies below us, protected even now by the enchantment of Lu Sklorian 100 mines. I understand the river named for him is rather famous in your commonwealth. The mouth of the river Sklorian opens wide not far from here. The largest river on the other side, which cascades down eternally into the downside. Begone, to distant lands beneath our own, more suited to your kind, from the sentencing ceremony. It was there that limbless Arazek was defeated, turning the region lush and livable, at least for certain denizens, although of course not everyone believes this. The Root Titan. Arazek yet lives, a husk, a single foul seed still rotting where once something mighty stood, the Book of Rites. Your adversaries, the Pyre Hearts, must be working to find their way there even now. Good fortune in your right against them, reader. Pymitha says she can sway the coming right against the Pyre Hearts in your favor here. You sense the presence of your adversary Ignarius here, and may learn of his recent activity. That's interesting. Your wagon touches down in Black Basin, where you first met Wolfred and Pymitha as well. You briefly wonder at what might have happened had your paths not crossed as you consider what to do with the remains of the afternoon. Black Basin. The continent we call Black Basin shall one day tear itself apart. Arriving upon blackened molten crags, tolerable only by the harp Triesta, or Trista, we press forward towards a suffocating wood. This land fell to us somehow primordial. Deep in its roots and noxious crevasses, I just said that like a British person, crevices, lay innumerable clues as to its ancient history. We had little time to excavate, for our supplies by then were thin. Further, we were lost. Our best attempts at circumnavigation had all failed. It was Lu Sklorian who reached out at last under the stars and they revealed the way. Then we at last could see the sacred Mount Aladio there in the distance. Wolfred is poring over a copy of the Book of Rites as you approach. He looks up at you and smiles. The Road to Freedom, written in a book that hardly anyone believes exists, and fewer still can read and comprehend. Sometimes I marvel how absurd all of this is, my boy. Tell me something, though. I've spent so much time considering the book, but known so few with whom I could discuss it in much detail. You've had some time to turn through it by now, so what do you think? Worth all the fuss? For me, it's tedious as hell, since I have to read it out loud. But if I didn't, I'd think it was fascinating. You tell Volfred the book has fascinated you, and that you have never seen anything quite like it. He nods slowly as you describe your experience with it. I share the sentiment. To have in our possession a genuine artifact from a forgotten time. How much of it is exactly true and how much of it is the scribe's retelling of events? I find it endlessly fascinating to consider, I must admit. He put away his copy of the book with care. It is amazing that these volumes have survived for all this time, I think. Whatever they are made of has withstood the ravaging effects of time quite well. And the ideas they are contained, they remain rather provocative as well. To think that the Commonwealth disavows of the existence of this book despite official recognition of the 8 scribes. Although the reasons why are in there written plain. How fascinating that its secrets have been kept for all this time. Anyway, you'll have to excuse me for my extracurricular interest in its teachings. I used to teach a version of its history. To have access to the real thing has brought me some small pleasure. Let us be certain to preserve these volumes for whomever shall be next to use them. He turns his attention to other matters and bids you a good afternoon. Magma Mug provides a bit of warmth on cold nights and something at which to nod and stare. Like a lava lamp. You may determine the outcome of a recent rite through a scrying pool in the vicinity. Your senses guide you to a scrying pool somewhere in the razor brambles of Cinderroot and you look upon the waters. Soon you experience a vision of Ignarius, who stood against Barker and the dissidents in his most recent rite. What a joke. You ain't never gonna take the Nightwings if that's all you got. So you put out our lights, mate, and so what? You think that means you're gonna take the Nightwings? Cry all you want, ain't gonna change a thing. Let's go, boys. The vision fades. It seems the tempers prevailed against the dissidents sometime not long ago, gaining the favor of the scribes. You wonder where their paths have taken them as you return to the Black Wagon to pursue your vocations. Global bonuses. Despite your growing knowledge of the Book of Rites, you yet struggle to grasp certain aspects of its teaching. Through greater understandings comes the reader's influence. We'll max out presence. The texture of the pages of the book, the foreign bindings, despite the volume's age, it shows so little signs of wear. At times, the power emanating from it almost overwhelms you. Inspiration comes to you in a flash. Tenacity. All Nightwings gain +2 presence. You are to conduct the rites here soon against Sir Deluge and the Pyre Hearts. Oh, hey guys, you know, it seems so awful quiet now. I gotta say, without that slippery little character that used to hang around you, I mean. Talks like this a lot, know what I mean? Gilman. Hope you found that honor thing he's always going on about. We don't got that in stock just now. Yeah, that's expensive. Let's get some money. Hang on to the quickness, that's pretty nice. I need 78 though. Okay, we'll get rid of it. Who needs it? Okay, yeah, I can't level that. I don't know who I want to upgrade. I'm just gonna hang on to my stuff. Come see us again, guys. Pages revealed. Downside travels. You cannot survive the downside if you cannot get around. Howlers shall descend on you, or tempests shall shear you to pieces. That is just the way of it. Traveling through the environs is no simple feat. Consider yourself blessed if you were born a cur. If not, however, you shall have to find a means to cross these lands without the benefit of 4 strong paws. Lusclorian believes that this untamed land can be traversed through means unnatural. I thought at first that he meant sorcery, but he suggests invention. He speculates that carriages could cross this land by harnessing its fury. A wild thought. In my case, my paws shall suffice. Glade of Lu. Never have I witnessed an affront to nature, mine and everyone's, quite like the poisoned woods of limbless Arazek, the root titan, and his suffocating influence. I shall leave it to the boastful Underking to tell you more of Arazek's vanquishing, whilst I may tell you something of the glade that he protected, which became my own. For my own genealogy now occupies the soil there and strives forevermore to prevent Arazek from taking root again. The brambles of the glade are constantly encroaching on themselves, then falling once again to dust. This miraculous cycle, reflected in the starlight piercing through the canopy, needs to be witnessed whenever the stars invite an audience. Once more you've returned to the Glade of Lu, and your companions stand ready against a still night sky. You overhear some of their words. You said we have to face the Pyre Hearts tonight? Lower thee thy voice, and raise thine eyes aloft. Just then you observe a glint of starlight that begins to shine above, and your companions soon fall silent. Unfathomed Plurns. Your adversaries shall have +8 quickness. So I've gotten the Widow and Archbeast, but I haven't done these others. Alright. We'll just give them +8 hope.
Much vaunted reader has returned, and it would appear his ranks grow stronger. Consorting with the bog-crone Bertrude, are we? How very strange that you befriended her. At any rate, your adversaries in this rout shall be the Pyre Hearts. Put out their flame and walk the path to liberty.
Oh no, the Nightwings! He struggles with his mask for some time. But please, have mercy on this knight, O Nightwings, for this knight knows well of limitless power, which you most certainly possess. Then he squirms into his mask. Limitless power can only be the explanation as to how you freed that no-good Gilman. How, this knight must know. How can such a thing even be possible? Inheriting the loudest, clumsiest, ugliest, most obnoxious, least competent worm ever to sully the ranks of the Pyre Hearts, and seeing him to such a victory? Would that this knight could kneel, for he would kneel before your stupefying power. By the end of the speech, you sense their deluge is not entirely sincere. Even now you hear him snickering nervously with his triumvirate. It seems news of Sir Gilman's liberation has caused quite a stir within the ranks of the Pyre Hearts. Even still, they stand together, ready for the right. Hold a moment, reader. The crone Bertrude slithers forth, wearing the raiments of the rights. Now that Bertrude is among our ranks, it would be best if you become familiar with her repertoire. You have no obligation to make use of her abilities, of course. Good Bertrude, please show the reader something of your aptitude. We expect thou shalt be soon inclined to bring our sorceries to bear. Long have we studied these rites of thine. Let us show thee what we know of them thus far.
crone Bertrude shows herself in full.
She got a huge jump.
Now I have to wonder what became of her accomplices. Of one accomplice in particular. You watch yourself around her, reader. None are sentenced into exile without sufficient cause.
She's got a huge, wow. She's good. Now then, reading one. Know that our freedom is of little consequence to us. We side with ye because of Sandalwood, because of his plan. We shall aid ye in the rights, and we shall aid ye in that plan. Thus we are at thy disposal and await thy bidding. She seems really good.
Now we shall get started.
If the bear is banished, an ensuing blast can banish adversaries in a radius. Oh god. Sir Deluge's slash banishes adversaries in a wider area. After Sir Deluge banishes an adversary, one of his banished allies shall instantly return. This could be tough. He's Capriest. He was born on the 16th of First Moon, suggesting he is ambitious but also discontented. Crime, desertion. He broke ranks during a pivotal moment in the siege of the Spiral Sanctum. Motive, cowardice. The record shows he was found quivering in fear and remained shaken thereafter. The Sea Dominion has known relentless underwater war for several millennia. As its population nonetheless kept growing, some worms clambered to the surface to make their fortunes there. The Commonwealth recognized their chivalrous traditions and put them to use as frontline fodder. Sir Deluge was one such specimen, but was born with an instinct for self-preservation. So when a Harp division descended on his regiment one day, he fled as quickly as his tail could carry him. He was subsequently caught and cast down. These guys are just quick. Or one of them is, okay. Alright, we'll see how it goes. It might be tough.
Edwin. Jodariel.
Let's get Tizo, because he's like... he has so much inspiration.
Tizo.
Prepared as ever. We are not afraid of you, especially not this night. Worm Knights, attack! Let's go.
Now begin.
Die!
A favorable start. Exactly by the book. Alas for Edwin.
What?
That ought to wake you up. So it is. Quench now their pyre. Tizo douse their pyre.
Another most inglorious defeat is imminent. This knight can feel it in his bone. In his one bone.
Edwin is banished.
Wow, that has such a crazy range. Damn it.
Your pyre sputters.
Ooh, double kill. Nice knowing ya.
Edwin plunged into their pyre. Now go on just once more.
Dang it.
Sir Deluge did fling himself upon the flames. Oh, there goes Headwind. United in banishment. And it is done. The Nightwings prevail again. And what a crushing victory it was. The ceremony is complete.
Now then, if you're so quite finished making sport of us, then we shall slither away in humiliating disgrace. Thanks.
Boundless are the teachings of the
You're welcome,
scribe.
bitch. Woo! Oh, I thought he would gain all that green, but nope.
Until the stars align.
After thwarting the Pyrehearts in a rather one-sided contest, you return to the wagon to find Wolfred the Lone Minstrel and the Lone Minstrel in the midst of conversation. Most strange that this one should be illuminated now. That is not what I expected. Nor I, Wolfred, sir. Then Wolfred notices you there. Reader. Tarek and I observed a strange occurrence in the sky is all. It appears that the star of Kaelmer Ropecaller is illuminated now. It is but another star, except our models and predictions of the cosmos did not anticipate this. The first exiles came to these lands not by force but by heeding the Ropecaller's deceptions. The traitorous former aide to the Emperor, his actions inadvertently led the 8 scribes to find each other. Anyway, go see for yourself. I shall make the wagon ready in the meantime. You see only a single shining star illuminated far above. It is just as Wolfred indicated. You regard the looming star. Right below us. The rogue star burns bright over an isolated little island in the Sea of Solis. Lendl is already on his way. Interact to challenge the accusers here next. I think those were the very first guys we fought. Then, we are summoned to the Isle of Kaelmer, deep within the Deathless Tempest. The traitor Kaelmer Ropecaller fled to this strange isle and met a fitting end. Have you been there before, Tarek? So long ago. I scarce recall the time, only the scent. It is the place from whence the creatures native to this land sprang forth. Reader, let's not concern ourselves with superstitions held about that place. We'll set forth at dawn and soon see for ourselves what to make of it. Limbless Arazek. If this one is to be honest, he nary expected his high-minded friend Luce Glorian ever to raise arms. And yet, 'twas Glorian alone who toppled the Root Titan, which befouled the serenity of Wakingwood. Sklorian he brought to bear the might of his entire family of willful saps contained within his ancient gnarled staff. Soon did the poisoned soil of Limbless Arazek begin to dissipate. The Root Titan cried out a deafening last cry and withered to a speck. Arazek yet lives, a husk, a single foul seed still rotting where once something mighty stood. Sklorian in his mercy deigned that the surrounding woods ought to grow bold and strong by casting off the influence of Arazek, not by forgetting him. Pyrehearts. The Pyrehearts all follow in the path forged by the Underking Oris, whose many mighty deeds exceed the smallish stature that somehow contained him. His is the most spirited triumvirate, their courage unfaltering, their hearts full. They live always with vigor, and perhaps they die with it as well. They are the Underking's own kind, as at home above the sea is in it, never ceasing, never longing, as they do for something more. The Underking chose wisely for these qualities, and teaches that a life devoid of passion is a life devoid of life itself. That burning passion is the fuel that drives the Pyrehearts, and in turn, us all. find Bertrude asleep, or perhaps in a deep trance, or even you sense nothing from her. Edwin notices as well and joins you to check on her. I haven't seen her like this before. She's barely breathing. She's not responding. He leans in for a close look when... Halt thine advance, knave. Dare thee disturb our slumber? I am terribly sorry, Bertrude. The reader and I, we were just checking to make sure you were alright because of how we saw you there just now. And how exactly didst thou see us there just now? Well, you appeared to be dormant, or perhaps... Didst thee think that we had simply perished here, perchance? Crumpled over in our ancient age? A weakling barely clinging to this wretched coil? No, I mean, maybe. I sincerely apologize for having disturbed you, Bertrude. I know all this must be an adjustment, having to be around someone like me, maybe the others too. If there's anything we can do to make your stay more comfortable... We shall not yield to thy flirtations, boy. Flirtations? Wait, no, Know that our heart belongs already to another, boy. Thou knowest nothing of our ways, whilst waking or in dream. Thus we advise thee ample caution in thy future interactions, lest we use thee as a subject for our sorceries. However, we do appreciate thy flattery. Thine advances make us feel like a young tad once more. We were among the most sought after of our kind within the southern bogs. Wisely, Edwin remains silent. Thou art free to depart now, boy. Edwin turns to leave, but... Know that we do appreciate thou taking time to check upon us whilst we dream, and know that our stay amongst ye has been comfortable enough thus far. Well, that's nice enough. Thank you, Bertrude. Thou art welcome, boy. Despite the oddness of the exchange you witnessed, you sense that Edwin and Bertrude gained a better understanding of each other. Take off. Wolford joins you as you soar high above the storm-ravaged waters on approach to the infamous Isle of Kaelmer. Among its cursed qualities, it seems that this wretched storm means I cannot rightly smoke. One of the downside's small misfortunes, I suppose. The wagon's drive imps seem not to mind, at least. In fact, they seem more animated now, even than usual, sir. Perhaps they feel some sort of connection to this place. Tarek, do you suppose the accusers were able to make it here intact? They ought to have seen it in the stars, though we soon shall know for certain. That we shall. Take us in, please, reader. You sense that Pamitha may gain a deeper understanding of the rites. Tizo observes that this current to the Isle of Kaelmer is teeming with fish. So, valuables or probably a permanent buff for Pamitha, which sounds better to me. You make landing within the Deathless Tempest, far west of where you first breached to the shores beyond. You wonder which sort of celestial landmark lies hidden amidst these waters, though for now you have some time left before continuing onward. Having reached the sharp shoal, you decide to accompany Pamitha for a walk among the dark waters. An icy floe near the Isle of Kaelmer, sturdy enough for landing. Even once proud worm knights of the Sea Dominion tend to avoid the cold here. Your conversation soon turns to matters of the rites, which you discuss at length. Most of the time I think none of this makes any sense, but once in a while you put it together for me, reader darling. By the time you return to the wagon, you sense she gained a deeper understanding of it all. Your time together caused Pamitha to gain enlightenment. Cool. Well, Tamitha? Soon I'll be catching up with you at this, whether or not you like it. For 5 seconds after banishing an adversary, Pamitha moves 30% faster. That's nice. While flying, Pamitha moves faster than usual. We'll go for the banished one. Writes, masteries enhancing a harp's swiftness and mobility. When Trista Tithys led her people to the mountains, they began to train themselves in new ways to survive. Writes, masteries enhancing a harp's aggressive capabilities. The High Wings were nearly destroyed after Saint Trista left them. Those who remained grew strong. Tiny Tempest. Entertaining, but would unleash calamity if ever were to be unbottled. We waited for the Deathless Tempest to subside. We waited, but the Underking, he merely laughed and laughed, for the Deathless Tempest does not subside. What lies beneath that stretch of sea to cause such an upheaval is best left to myth and speculation. We made passage nonetheless, through sorcerous aid and fortune, scarce seeing the surrounding environs. We did detect a landform to the west. Solium detected there the presence of the treacherous aide who lured him into exile, and then followed him in turn. Mur in his wisdom thought it best to be avoided. At last we did arrive on distant lands, though seeing them provided little comfort. You find Pamitha by herself again, though her expression has grown darker than her custom. Leave me be, would you, reader darling? Trying to get some good and proper moping done here, and you're distracting me. Leave me be, reader. Just leave me be, reader. Just leave me be. You don't want to know what's lurking in my heart or my mind. What you'll find there isn't pretty. Yet something about her thought process is different to you now. You know that with her conditioning she can resist your scrutiny, but now her thoughts are laid bare to you. I don't want to bother her. She told me to leave her be. Pamitha's thoughts are her own business. The fleeting connection between you soon is severed. Thoughts are loathsome things, reader. It is difficult to know how best to hide them. Mine are plain enough for you to see by now. She exhales and looks askance. You know by now why I am in this mess with all of you. You could say I lack Tamitha's sense of commitment, her zeal. She lives only to see your nation overthrown. Or something worse, if she could have her way. Centuries of conflict can be quite emboldening that way, especially when one's sister's leading cause of death is Commonwealth forged steel. Wielded with the utmost of mercy, of course. Well, I had little patience for the senselessness of it myself. Became a bit of a pariah, I suppose. I knew Tamitha was going to get herself and others killed someday, so when she was set to fly out on this one big mission of hers, I had other arrangements made. But after she was caught, your people did not exactly uphold their end of the bargain. I knew there were such risks, of course, and yet a chance is still a chance. Tamitha was clipped and cast down. A mercy, they called it. I did not see it that way, and in my growing protest of her treatment, I was soon enough to follow. She falls silent for a while. I haven't yet decided if I entirely regret my actions, but I do seek Tamitha's forgiveness, and wish she could see my thoughts for what they are, as it seems you can. Then she might realize our nation's people have much more in common than she knows. Sometimes I wonder which of them's the stupider. She brushes past you and out of the wagon for now. Tamitha's bio is updated. Astral sign Burden. So she is practical and easygoing. Crime conspiracy. She made repeated attempts to make contact with enemy combatants taken into custody. Motive insurrection. The records state she remained loyal to the High Wing remnants despite claims to contrary. 4 years exiled. She was a talent ace of the High Wing remnants, who possessed the talent of her sisters, but not their single-minded zeal. She grew weary of the fighting and decided she would put an end to it. Thus, when a critical battle approached, the Commonwealth was waiting and her own blood sister was among the harps captured and clipped. She was more guilt-stricken by this turn than she expected. When she attempted to contact her blood sister in exile, she was told that she could seek her firsthand and was exiled in turn. Deep in the murky waters of Deathless Tempest, you find a messenger imp looking to bring you the latest news and rumors from the other side. Oh, we're gonna hear from Gilman, probably. This time around, the imp brings tidings of Sir Gilman, and what happened to him since his liberation of the fall of Solium, when at last his self-imposed exile came to an end. You learn that his return to the Commonwealth was met with much rejoicing, and that before long he was promoted to the rank of Veiled Captain on the Blood Border. And yet, with tears welling in his eye, he did refuse the post, stating he no longer had the heart to fight against the Highwing remnants as once he did. He then cast down his helmet, and when next anyone saw him, he was among Volfred's agents, having joined the revolution to reshape the Commonwealth from within. Nice. You thank the messenger imp for the report, and salute it crisply as surely Gilman would have. Soon the news has everyone in the wagon talking. Tizo feels inspired. One of the Seed Dominion's own laying down his arms by his own choice. I'm honestly surprised, even having known him. Night or no, he always shall remain Sir Gilman in my eyes. It must have taken great restraint for him to do what he has done. I hope he's feeling more comfortable in his own skin these days. Glad his did the right thing. The tears he shed ought to have been bottled and thus set aside for use in various salves. Do you think that one day I can be as brave as him? Because I don't always think I can. The news of Gilman's liberation fills you and your fellow exiles with newfound resolve. Your companions gain +1 hope. Your wagon shudders to a halt at the Isle of Kaelmer. Bizarre outcroppings give it a forbidding feel. In the distance you hear odd gibbering noises that sound like drive imps. Whoa, guys, how'd you find me all the way out here? I mean, this is for the extra special customers. I'm only joking, You're the only customers I got. Got you again. Only joking about that too. Gotta admit. Because I got tons of customers. It's just that they already bought a lot of stuff today, so they're not here, okay? Anyways, I just got in a little something here which maybe you'll be into. Been hearing about these little numbers for a while. Check them out. It reveals to you a set of twin rings. Jeweled band. That's nice. Grants the bearer +2 presence, +2 quickness, and +2 hope. At the start of a round, briefly gain infinite stamina if an ally has the ruined band. That's cool. An old enchanted ring never found far from its humbler looking counterpart. Quickness, presence, hope. Same thing for the other ring. A plain looking enchanted ring never found far from its more attractive counterpart. Thinking these stingers are supposed to be for a couple of lovebirds, know what I mean? But anybody could probably use them provided that they was to buy them off me. Duh, I was gonna get them for myself, but anyways, let me know if you want them. Expensive. You're leaving so soon, guys? I am. Here among the boundless waters of the Isle of Kaelmer, you await the signal of the stars. There is no sign yet of your expected adversaries, the accusers. Then the little imp Tizo flutters up to you. Tizo cautions you that he has some history with your next adversary, Lendl. Tizo seems to be indicating that Lendl has a personal vendetta against him. But before he can explain anything further, the stars begin to call to you. New one. Your adversaries each shall have +8 presence.
Lord Gandroth.
We'll get that one. I'll make him more cunning too.
Astralborn. Unfathomed plurness.
Yeah, this one is like crazy. Gives 10 more enlightenment, 10%. Ugh, this will be hard.
A glorious eve to you as ever, O you exiles of the night.
That's cool. Looks like an eye.
The 8 scribes dragged you all the way into the blasphemous Isle of Kaelma. Here you are to be surrounded by even more gibbering nitwits than usual. Your adversaries in the coming rite shall be the accusers. Reduce their pyre to a smolder and step closer to freedom.
Sounds like a actual arena. That's cool.
Prepare yourselves.
Your companions are assembled and ready for the rites to commence. However, there's still no sign of your adversaries. Little Imp Tizo screeches something, cautioning you all to stay alert. But then someone leaps forth from the shadows. He grabs at his mask. Aha! Caught you, you miserable beast. I knew it. After all this time, I knew that you were still among their ranks. Tizo was angry to have stumbled into an apparent trap laid for him by Lendl. Silence, friend, or fiend. You robbed me of my freedom, my dignity. Your evil shall be ended here and now, and you Nightwing shall not deny me this again. Come then, my accusers, for we face again none other than the spawn of the accursed imp, Hawkzz the Swallow. Let us show him now that he is a disgrace. First of the 8 scribes of the Book of Rites, known as Gracious or the Accursed. An imp of rare intellect, he showed compassion to Sully and Myrrh after he fell into exile. Tizo whistles something angry back at him. Whatever transpired between him and Lendl is in the past. Lendl evidently has not let it go. Oh crap. They have a stronger Pyre. We'll go Tizo. Seems canon.
Tizo. It is done.
Tizo hoped never to see Lendl again, but is prepared to face him. Nightwings, the wicked fiend you serve is an affront. He denied my rightful freedom in my moment of triumph. I shall never forgive him or any of you. What the hell? As the rites commence, the imps throughout the cavernous area roar with excitement. Our struggles and our plan, mere entertainment to these lonesome creatures. Begging your pardon, sir. The imps of the Isle are quite passionate about the rites. Just now they offered a bounty in soul if our triumvirate proves worthy. They would pay us? In exchange for what exactly? And where did they get the soul for that matter? My understanding is they wish to see us perform various feats of glory. As for the source of their wealth, who can say how much soul lies lost within the sea? Flashy displays of mastery in the rites, which certain types of imps are willing to pay to see. Reader, it may seem beneath you, but the opportunity is real if the soul could be of benefit. Indeed. Then, reader my boy, it is yours to decide if entertaining these sad creatures is a justifiable distraction during these affairs. We trust your judgment, now let us not distract you further here. Henceforth you shall be tasked with feats of glory in the rites. Banish 2 exiles in a single aura cast.
Your adversary's pyre is the first to falter.
It's gonna be tough. Oh, got it there. Damn. He juked me. Oh, I got him, I got him. Damn it.
There goes the orb. Their pyre sputters.
Hold still, you misbegotten little pox. We're not finished with you yet. Tizo utters at Lendl a slew of the absolute worst imp profanity. Your curses could not possibly affect me any further, you foul spawn, for you have taken everything from me already. But if I'm to be trapped in this forsaken hole with you for the remainder of my days, then I shall see to it that yours shall be as doleful as my own.
That Lendl certainly enjoys a rousing speech, though talk means nothing in the rights.
Showing him his boss. Damn it.
Jodariel plunged into their pyre.
Damn it.
There it is. Wow.
What a shot. Oh my god. Jeez. This is so much harder with that damn modifier.
Now to the flame. Edwin doused the adversary's flames.
The imps grow more and more agitated with each passing moment. Some start spilling onto the sacred grounds. Blasted creatures, these imps. Get out of here, you! Stay out of our way!
What are those blasted creatures doing? This is a sacred tradition, not some boorish spectacle. Flames of freedom.
Alright, just need Headwind to score and it's over.
The fight has nearly ended. Ouch. That chaos. Glory to the scribes. Bask in the purifying flame.
Shit.
Wherever did the night wings go? Lendl snuffed out some of your flame. How sad for the accusers. And
Got
it
him.
is done. The night wings prevail. Mayhap the scribe shall simply smite them down next time.
Prevail in a right at each of the celestial landmarks. I just got a
It's
achievement.
complete.
Tizo is very pleased that you prevailed, but wishes to make a quick exit at this time. Blast! Where did he go? Where did he go? That infernal imp. It is a monster in disguise, a fiend. Come forth to torment me until the day I die. Lendl storms off in a fit of anger. Tizo reappears once the coast is clear and expresses his gratitude again. What Lendl said before. If Tizo truly is a descendant of Hawkzz the Swallow, then he has quite the legacy to live up to.
What stirs now in the hearts of all these
Next level.
exiles?
Mastery of the rites. This is just a starting point and not a destination, isn't it? A mark along a path. I wouldn't have come this far unless I'd figured all that out by now. I can only hope that what I've learned here can be used to help us in some way.
The Master General reveals his stratagem. Understanding deepens in the mind of the imp Tizo.
Tizo gives thanks to Hawkzz the Swallow for watching over and protecting him. Tizo deals an additional 10 damage to the adversary's pyre. Hell yeah.
Until the stars align.
After you and your fellow exiles bested the accusers, you find the lone minstrel tending to one of your own. Edwin seems to be unwell, although you cannot yet sense why. How are you feeling, sir? I've been worse, but my limbs, I can barely move. It's like I'm hardly here. I see. Then please do not exert yourself or try. The lone minstrel motions for you to come closer. Reader. Edwin appeared rather disoriented and more fatigued than usual. Reported feeling not entirely present. Symptoms of banishment sickness. Oh, an ailment suffered by those who frequently conduct the rites, debilitating but fleeting. The sense of loss and isolation during banishment sometimes extends beyond that time. He should soon be able to take part in light activities, I think, but under no circumstances shall he be able to conduct the coming rite. Okay. That's because I've been spamming him since the day one. Now then, not to keep you from the stars above, please go and have a look at them, for all of us, I think, are anxious to depart this place. The stars yet shine for you, revealing various paths forward. We'll go fight Ignarius again. Plan success 44%. We're 14-0. One more till next liberation, right? Another omen as the stars aligned above the Isles of Kael'mir. It seems they have some surprises left in store for us. No matter, another liberation rite is fast approaching. Again, we are to face the demon Ignarius and his brutes, the Tempers. He is living proof of how the rites favor raw strength of will and body. Wolford then offers you such details as he knows of your next adversary. Ignarius, a longtime resident of the Downside, as evidenced by his appearance. The strongest of the Tempers, he has waited years to earn his freedom. Born to a middling Commonwealth family, he got into trouble early and often, but found his calling in the Commonwealth's not entirely legal red light district. There he took many jobs, most involving his sheer size. Most notably, he was a bouncer at the Starry 8, where he came to symbolize its reputation. Infamous tavern in the Commonwealth. It is widely believed that Commonwealth officials sometimes showed up incognito here to blow off steam. One day, a particularly belligerent guest got under his skin, so he gave him a tremendous thrashing. The club clientele all gave a cheer. However, this guest turned out to be a wealthy chamberlain, who then exploited his connections to have Ignarius arrested and then exiled. This was 14 years ago. In the Downside, Ignarius dropped his given name as is sometimes the custom and survived alone through his tenacity and strength. In time, he drew the notice of the Tempers, who revealed to him the rites, recruited him into their ranks, and let him work his way up. Now at last, it is his turn. Ignarius struggles to return to a place that wants nothing to do with somebody like him. He should never have been exiled. Anyway, my boy, I'm off to rest. You wish a good night to Wolfred. Your travel shall continue at first light. Isle of Kael'mir. The traitor Kael'mir Ropecaller. Whereas he brought about our empire's fall, whereas he nearly claimed the life of our dear Solium, we forgive him. We have forgiven him. We give a certain thanks to him. For he played a vital part in the Star's plan. If not for him, then we, the Eight, would never have aligned. We never found the Ropecaller. He fled into the sea, towards an isle, which we knew well to avoid. 'Twas there we think that Kael'mir's tattered mantle finally did him in among the wild imps. Should the stars ever converge above that isle, it shall be to signify that their long dance across the skies is drawing to a close. Lord Gandroth. A warrior of surpassing strength, that Golothanian, single-handedly he slew the serpent titan, Gandroth, which envenomed Downside Prairie's verdant plains. Master General Golothanian, he was undeterred by Lord Gandroth's myriad attacks. His lashing tail, it hurled rocks the shape of swords and thrice as sharp. His eyes reduced brave folk to mewling babes. But Gulathanian stood tall, and brandished his tower shield and sent Lord Gandroth's fury back into its monstrous countenance. Now Lord Gandroth takes the shape of a stone ridge, conspicuous, and now as well you know the full unguarded truth about his fearsome past and Gulathanian's glory. Islak Astralborn. The foul name of the Star Titan is written here but once. Do not invoke it, lest you aid its reawakening. It sups upon despair and fear and doubt, and lands such as our own. 'Twas our mighty mistress Melith which tracked the Astralborn monstrosity within its loathsome pit, where it lay nursing wounds sustained from traveling across the stars in search of simple prey. The wicked Astralborn could drive a lesser creature to the brink of sanity with a mere passing glance, but not Melith. She cast upon the fiend 100 words of binding, each one more binding than the last. With the creature's incandescent skin we bound this book and bound ourselves under the stars. The accusers formed under Gulathanian. He is a big man. He values justice, loyalty, and steadfastness. Gulathanian, he says that the accusers take their name from one of the most accomplished legions, from his former military days. All among them, in fact, served the Master General at one time. They represent the stoutest-hearted people of the Empire, who held true to Myr and Gulathanian to the end. The golden colors of the raiments are reminiscent of their old shining armor, is his claim. Ever shall they seek out those with the truest spirits and the strongest sense of purpose to replenish their ranks. "16 years, wow. Tizo seems somewhat less cheerful since his run-in with Lendl and the accusers. He approaches you wanting for you to hear him out. Tizo seems unhappy about something Lendl said to him. Tizo understands full well why Lendl is angry with him. While Tizo does not like Lendl as a person, he recognizes nonetheless that he denied his freedom. It was a liberation rite. He did what he felt necessary. He wanted to help his friend go free. Nonetheless, he still feels a certain guilt, and regrets that the rites force exiles into such situations. He falls silent for a while. Whether the 8 scribes ever intended for imps such as he to participate in the rites firsthand is difficult to know for certain. Then, Tizo is grateful to you for listening. He knows the scribes created the rites with good intentions. He promises to keep doing his best to live up to the legacy of the scribes. He bounds up into the rafters with some of the other drive imps, regardless of whether he truly is a descendant of Hawkzz the Swallow. Surely the scribes would have been proud of him.
Instrusamtis. Reciprastis.
Bertrude slithers up to you as the black wagon passes through the skies above her former abode, Sky Explorer. While flying, interact with 10 different observation points. Our kind who lurk below, they would scarce believe we soar above them now. We told them when Sandalwood came to fetch us that we shall not return for some time. Our most accomplished laborers, with whom we shared so many moons in exile, we trust that they shall carry forth the reputation of our services, for we taught them all we know. She seems almost nostalgic as she lists off the various services provided at Big Bertrude's. Curses, balms, potions, powders, cleansing reagents, sleeping medicines, fungicides, seances. Big Bertrude's earned quite a name for itself through the downside for these and other things. When we're finished here, provided we do not return from whence we came, we shall return to our establishment and carry on our business there, for there is much demand. Bertrude believes she can find alchemical reagents she requires along this route. How dare you, you Nightwing scum! You blasted fools, you cannot intimidate the accusers. We shall face you soon in a forthcoming rite, but first we have another pack of fools whom we must vanquish shortly. Until then, stay out of our way. Screw you. Leaving you with time for your vocations. Let's do that. You and Hedwyn make a quick search of the rocky pathways of Gluehive, however you find nothing of note. The north route across the Germer Valley passes the remains of the Hive Titan. The lifeless carapace of Biolantheus still looms over the western edge of the valley. Ah well. It's always good to spend some time with you, my friend. You soon return to the Black Wagon where the others are preoccupied with their own pursuits. You should have some time to pursue your vocations. You find Hedwyn rather lost in thought about something. He looks over as you approach. Oh, hey, my friend. Alright, so what's it gonna be? He points in the direction of his cooking tin, strewn over in the corner of the wagon. One of life's small comforts around here is we get to eat. Not a day goes by that I'm not grateful for that, but there's only so much to choose from, whether here in Jomer Valley or anywhere around, I guess. Anyway, I was just having trouble trying to decide what to cook. Just had fire caps again last night, and those never seem to sit that well with everyone anyway. There's no more glopgil. Not that anyone but Tizo ever liked that stuff. And I feel like we've been having gutter crabs every day for months, so I'm not too excited about that. This is where you come in. And no consulting books or stars or anything, just you and me, here and now. What am I making? You decide, because I can't. I know there's a lot of serious stuff to think about these days, but still help me, no one's struggling to regain their freedom on an empty stomach. Fillet of Slurg. An acquired taste, acquired mostly through a prolonged and desperate stay within the downside. Silt porridge, a notorious dish that Hedwyn has perfected to the upper limits of its capacity to not be terrible. As for gutter crabs again, this inoffensive option has the added benefit of putting some lucky gutter crabs out of their misery. It is exceedingly difficult to choose from all the delectable meal options in the downside. Look at this fillet. You express a preference for Hedwyn to cook up a fillet of slurg for you and everyone. This time around, he easily detects the hesitation in your voice. You can't possibly mean that, but I am calling your bluff, my friend. Fillet of slurg it is. Try not to worry. I'll make sure it's cooked all the way through. Now lend me a hand here with this stuff, would you? As you assist Hedwyn with preparing the fillet of slurg, the two of you get to talking about the past, the reality of cooking in the downside as a way of making him nostalgic. Life on the blood border wasn't that much easier than trying to get by down here. The Highwing remnants could swoop in at any time. They were so good at picking the worst possible occasions for us. The time they showed up, and I was nowhere to be found, I must have told you about that. He has spoken to you of his past as an outrider once before. Well, either way, I don't think I ever told you much about Fikani. Someone for whom Hedwyn cares deeply. They were separated in the Commonwealth. That must be the harp. I was riding to relay an order when she caught me out in the open. She could have had me, but we just stood there, you know? I'd never seen anything like her. And her voice. She says to me, "You ought to be more careful with your life." And I just say, I'm not the type to say such things, but it's all I could think of looking at her then, so I just tell her, it was worth the risk. Anyway, she spared my life, of course, and when we saw riders heading towards us, I looked at her, she took hold of me, and we just took off. I didn't want to leave her, and I didn't for a while. He trails off for a while. Soon after I came back, I went off in search of her again. This time, though, the risk I took, a lot of people paid for it. The harps attacked when no one was there to raise the alarm. A few days later, Hedwyn the deserter was sentenced to exile. And now, he's about to cook some fillet of slurg. Thanks for your help, my friend. I can take it from here. See you shortly. He heads out into the afternoon. You sense he feels more at ease after having spoken with you. Hedwyn gained +2 hope for the next rite, even though he can't go. Find a quiet corner near the Black Wagon's grounds to delve into the secrets of the book. Hope. You concentrate on the substance of the words and teachings of the Book of Rites, such as you understand them thus far. Inspiration comes. Everybody gets +1 hope. Do vocations 10 times. You're to conduct the rites here against Ignarius and the Tempers. Oh, it's you guys, good, because I was just thinking I could use a customer like real bad today, or just in general, you know? I'm too poor. You guys didn't see nothing, huh? As you await the stars, a form dressed in the raiments of the rites approaches you and Volfred. You at first presume it for one of your next adversaries, the Tempers. But he cannot be one of them. Besides you, Volfred starts, something you've never seen him do. You observe the colors that he wears, an inverse of the Nightwings. Volfred Sandalwood. It has been a while. No, this cannot be. The demon unfastens his mask. Damn, this guy looks badass. It can. You perished. I watched you fall. You did. His voice is so cool too. I grieved for years, yet now you live? I do. Although these horns, they grew long ere I could walk again. Unbelievable. Then, why are you here now, Orlek? He is a former exile of the Nightwings, betrayed and abandoned in his moment of glory. You know full well, Volfred, to reclaim what is mine by right. The demon Orlek leaves without another word, just as the stars above burst to life and seem to set the sky aflame. Okay, we knocked those two out.
Unfathomed plurness. Time Singer Horn.
We'll get both of these now. The Sky Titan, the Sea Titan.
What lunacy is this? 'Twould appear the Nightwings are to stand against themselves this time around. This is a mutiny, in violation of the sacred law. The exile whom you face, Orlek. Long ago he had his chance, and he relinquished it. He cannot simply claim it now. And I cannot preside over this nonsense. Good night.
Huh. What happened to the Tempers? The stars showed we were to face them. They must have suffered a misfortune of some sort. Tampering with the stars' designs is not permitted, Orlek. Cheating the worthy of their rightful liberty is not permitted either, Volfred. You must know I took no part in that betrayal. Search your heart. Orlex is nothing for a time, then. Where are your raiments, Volfred? I've refused to wear them since, in show of solidarity to you. And to elude the voice, I would suppose. Yes, that too. I see. You were never very good at this anyway. We shall see if that new lot of yours is any better. You cannot be serious. What sense is there in us standing against each other? But Orlek puts on his mask and stands ready. I shall crush this lot of yours, Wolfred. You shall see that I am not so easily discarded, and you shall not deny my liberty again. Uh-oh. Reader, the adversary whom we face, Orlek, he is not one to back down. He was very experienced in the rites, even at the time, and so, beware. There was no one in his day who could prevail against him, and he appears even stronger now. Great. I wish I had more valuable advice to give, and in this, I wish I had foreseen this. So Hedwyn can't participate, even better. Lovely. Tizo's baller. We'll get Faye. Is this alright if I'm a little scared this time? Because I think that Orlek is frightening to me. Such a triumvirate you have assembled, Wolfred. Then let us see what they can do. Come and face me, false night wings. Tizo? Tizo recognizes Orlek and greets him tentatively. It is good to see you. Orlek reaches for his mask in turn. How is the horn? Mended? Tizo indicates his horn has not bothered him for a long time now and thanks Orlek. Good. A full recovery then. But it is unfortunate to see you standing there with them, Tizo. Come with us, no questions asked. The proposition seems to catch Tizo off guard. Tizo indicates that he will not abandon his friends or their quest. He seems to be pleading with Orlek to stand down, to listen, to not give in to anger. Orlek shakes his head. Puts his mask back on. This is something I must do, little one. Tizo dons his mask in turn. He chirps nothing more. Crap. God, they're really hard. God. Am I supposed to lose this? These guys are nuts. Oh, they have the increased quickness. That's what's making it so hard, I bet. Shouldn't have given them that. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Boom. So close. I shall not give in to you, false night wings, not while I draw breath. Shit. Oh, come on. That was not easy. Favored to prevail, prevailing a right against each of the other triumvirates. You, who call yourselves the Nightwings, seems that you've learned something from Sandalwood after all. But you are the Nightwings in name only, and as for the rights, it is a mockery of what it once stood for. All of this, a stain upon the legacy of the scribes. Volfred looks on as Orlek departs without another word. Orlek, forgive me. That quickness was brutal.
No.
Orlek, he has changed. Scarce resembles now the one with whom he traveled then. I'm afraid so. I can only begin to imagine what he has been through all these years. Reader, as you can see, Orlek and I, we have some years in common. A story for another day. I need some time to look at how all this affects our plan. Reader, sir, Orlek is a principled person. His freedom was denied him just when it was in his grasp, a doleful tale. Wolfred shall tell you more of him in due time. Of that I have no doubt. For now it seems the stars beseech you once again outside. There, deep in the infinite dark, once more you see a single star shining brighter than the rest. The golden star. Orlek, how is it that you live? And perhaps more importantly, what have you done? Once more then, under the fall of Solium. Excellent. Our plan proceeds at pace. We need but continue to make good on all such opportunities the stars present, so much as possible. Then our ranks within the Commonwealth may yet grow strong enough that we shall sway the people towards our cause. It shall be difficult, but the people have their hearts and consciences, and the Commonwealth has long since lost its way. The never-ending wars with the Highwing remnants, the passing of more sentences of exiles than ever before, for increasingly more dubious causes. The burning of books, the outlawing of literacy. These are corruptions of the teachings of the scribes. Together we shall prove it soon enough. Volfred, sir, what of Orlek? Volfred says nothing in response at first, but then... Orlek appears to have his own agenda now. We shall have to try and keep an eye on him, although our plan remains the same. Anyway, we have a mountain which we need to climb. Let's all rest up a bit, if possible, this night. We fly at break of dawn. Okay, we got all these pages. Unfathomed plurns. In all of this one's conquest, never has the Underking confronted such a foe as the Sea Titan plurns, or plurnies. That grand and hideous wench presented a nigh inestimable peril for whomever sailed or swam the downside sea. Tales of her monstrosity long spread across the world. The Underking was undeterred. Nay, This one had made it his life's mission to give her recompense. Emboldened, having felled her cousin Endriga, he drew her out of hiding, and then sailed the remains of Dazraban, the doomed ship, with its sharpened prow straight through her heart. Huzzah! The catastrophic detonation which ensued left no surviving witnesses, save one. The Underking survives to speak of it and write of it, which he shall do repeatedly. Time Singer Harn. The tempests ravaging the downside are the handiwork of the Time Singer Harn, known as the Sky Titan. The furious elements there as troubled dreams, manifested in this troubled land. We, the Eight, we sought to cure him of his ailment, for his unrelenting and unpleasant dreams had long become our treacherous reality. One night, we drew him toward the Rite of Flame, a stratagem of Solium Mur's design. There, he was stricken by the stars and dazed and overcome by their eternal shining glory. The Sky Titan thus bonded with the sky. The tempests which remain, they are but lasting traces of his waking dream. What is a life without an adversary? If not for forces that conspire against the will, life would be devoid of its innateness, the desire to overcome. Thus, when we, the Eight, at last each fashioned a triumvirate based on our own ideals, we realized a void still needed to be filled, as the night sky needs moonlight. We Eight were united. Our triumvirate shared our affection. They needed us to set them all against a common foe. Thus did we form the Nightwings, a triumvirate envisioned to exceed them all, both through means mortal and divine, and given undue favor in each turning of the cycle. They are the adversary we all face. Tizo seems despondent following the confrontation with Orlick. Tizo is filled with mixed emotions at having seen Orlick again. Like Volfred, he thought for sure that Orlick had perished long ago. Tizo is angry that Orlick acted so unfriendly with everyone. Then the little imp looks at you with sadness in his eyes, but says no more. He skitters up into the rafters. The inverted fall of Solium roars into the sky. Somewhere beyond it lies the Commonwealth, beyond your vision and beyond your grasp. If only we could just fly home right now. Looks like this thing just can't go any higher though. It's a long way up that fall, isn't it? We'll get there yet, just have to keep going. You sense Prometheus shall gain favor. They shall gain favor. Who are we gonna run with? Probably Headwind, Jadariel, and then whoever we're gonna release, which I think is Tizo. So it doesn't matter. We'll go with Faye. I like Faye more. You land amid the fading glory of Mount Aladil, at whose summit awaits the liberation rite. Thus begins our third ascent to the fall of Solium. My agents in the Commonwealth report our plan is proceeding. Let us strive again to liberate one of our own and raise its chances. I wonder how much each of these guys contributes when I free them. It said there was like a gauge of which ones would contribute the most, but I don't know. With some time to spare after having landed, you've joined Faye on a brief expedition to the mountain, a monument of Hawkzz the Swallow. Thanks be to each of you 8 scribes, for it is you who have united us, together in this your most sacred tradition. The path and the outcome are the same, is that not so? But I need not ask, for I am sure of it. And so I shall follow unflinchingly the path you prepared for me. Soon you and she are finished paying your respects. You return to the wagon in silence, feeling as though Hawkzz the Swallow has shown you favor. You shall soon begin your ascent, though there is time as yet to pursue your vocations. They gained 1 quickness. Faye seems to be talking to the black wagon's walls again, though this time something seems to have come over her. Little brother, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? You're unsure whether to check in with her or leave her be. I'll wait and listen. Faye would not be here if she lacked the capacity to work through her problems. You sense now is not the time to interrupt, and that Faye is on the verge of confronting some long dormant emotions which she ought to face. They always said that there was something wrong with me, but they wouldn't really tell me what. They wouldn't say, they just said I was moon-touched, but so what? Those deemed impaired by Commonwealth standards are very different in a negative sense. So then, the scribes, they called me here. They're the ones who brought me here. Not those people. They were so cruel, they were always so cruel. I didn't have a little brother at the time. Not one that no one that I recall really, although so much of it back then, I can't tell how much of it I dreamt. Most of it I didn't want it to be true. But I remember that they threw me out. They decided they would throw me out and let the scribes take care of me, they said. The scribes, they would take care of me. It was so very quiet here, and I was all alone, again. Although, I think I liked it more. Being alone down here than being alone back there. Everybody's alone down here, and so it makes me feel less alone somehow. Back there, why, I would sometimes see families, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, but here, there was hardly anyone at all. But I knew I was closer to the scribes. I knew that they were in the sky above, and I did search for them up there, you know, and then one night I found them. I saw the stars and they were falling to the ground, and I thought, why is it the scribes themselves are crying? Are they sad, and maybe are they sad for me? Well, that was when I first saw you, little brother. With your help, I would get closer to the scribes. That way, maybe they could answer all my questions, don't you think? But I'm so very glad I found you and the others. I'm finally not alone. I'm finally not alone, and more importantly, I think sometimes I even feel that way, that I'm not alone. Maybe as we get closer, maybe, I will get to feel that way more often, being here or being anywhere with you and all my friends. She falls silent. Though you were concerned for her at first, you sense now that she is at peace. She wanders off, paying you no notice in the least. You sense you have a better understanding of her now. Bio updated Faye. Oh, 1 sec, I'm getting a call. Scorpus, driven and fixated, crime vagrancy. She failed to meet basic cognitive standards and had no place or family in the Commonwealth. That's pretty cruel. No crime. The record states she demonstrated a thorough lack of understanding of her wrongdoing. Well, no shit. She was a special child left abandoned, and despite her seemingly simple nature, she possessed a strange affinity for the old ways. One day she was taken in by the authorities, and when she revealed her fixations about the scribe, she was deemed witless. And when no one claimed responsibility for her, she was cast into exile. In the downside, she has wandered aimlessly in search of more clues about the legendary heroes who so fascinate her. This afternoon you feel especially drawn to the Book of Rites and find a place to look upon its words. You extract a deeper meaning from the words and teachings of the Book of Rites, one you feel in your core yet struggle to articulate. Inspiration comes in a flash, everybody gets +2 hope. Since Headwind shall gain favor, Virtue shall gain favor. Headwind. While traversing the quiet solitude on the way to the summit, you pass a monument to Molten Malith and Headwind appears to take notice. Is this going to be my chance? I can't help but wonder, but I need to clear my mind of this. It's all just a distraction. I want to return so badly, and yet, while my friends remain here trapped, I want to help them free themselves. Please, help me in this. Soon you and he are finished paying your respects. As you prepare to continue your ascent, you sense that Molten Malith has shown you favor. Headwind gains 3 glory. You know what? I think I'm going to release Headwind. You and your companions arrive again at the Scribe's Gate before an archway carved of stone. Shall we, reader? The minstrel leads you toward his counterpart, who seems unsurprised to see you all approach. The exiles of the Night Wings, and you again, Tarek. Greetings, Celeste. Aye, we have returned. The stars shine darkly these past nights. Nothing more than a portent of your arrival, is it? Likely nothing more. Now they are ready for you. And come forth, each of you, in turn. Please state your name and what it is you seek. Wait. You. She points to Bertrude. You are new amongst this group. You should go first. Please do as she asked, Bertrude, madam. We are known through the downside as Big Bertrude. We follow Sandalwood, for we are fond of him. He led us into exile, and he shall lead us out. The Gate Guardian acknowledges her and motions for the rest of you to proceed. Everyone does so, as before, including you. Once you all have declared yourselves, she regards you all for another moment and beckons towards the mountain's top. The 8 scribes bid the Night Wings welcome. Go forth with glory. Thank you, Celeste. Until the summit, Tari. I don't know who I want to send back. Hey, welcome back, you guys, you know? I guess this is a pretty decent spot for business all of a sudden. Because used to be it was real bad up here, you know? I'd be here and just wait and wait and wait, and sometimes it gets real cold, like I was telling you before, and stuff like that. So anyway, you buying anything? After getting banished, the bearer returns in a burst that draws in nearby adversaries. It's weird. Nah, we'll probably get rid of Tizo, like I planned. Be seeing you guys. This place, where you currently reside, it must be Mount Aladil, is it not? This was where those blasted scribes decided what to do with me. I had already failed in my mission to eliminate the demon Solium Mur. 8th of the 8 scribes of the Book of Rites, known as the first exile or the last of his name. A once proud emperor who neglected his nation and found penitence in the downside. I did not anticipate his retinue, you see. They took me and some of my Beyonders alive, although did not expect to see account of them in their good book. Whether it was for mercy or for spite, I never became certain. They probably presumed that my expulsion for eternity would eventually have taught me some respect for them, but no, not yet. Not yet. Well, I do not mean that really. The scribes did spare my life, and were it not for that... I could see how you made the mistake with it being the 27th and all, but... I would have thought you'd learn your lesson by now about the scheduling stuff, Jay. And were it not for that, I would never have been thusly trapped to then enjoy your company, O lovely reader. Did you end up just walking to the class and we're just like, then you had to go back? Now, having met my quota of blaspheming for the time, I think it best that we resume the normal sort of business between us, if there's any to speak of. And good hunting at the precipice. May you soon ride the downside of some useless idiot. Rid. Time to spank. Oh, you went to the wrong class. I've done that before. I think that happens to everybody at least once. Again, you reach the fall of Solium, where one among you can go free, provided you prevail against the essence and the liberation right. Reader, we would ask a moment of your time. Oh, okay, I gotcha. It'll happen to you then. You'll go into the wrong classroom on an accident sometime. Like the wrong class time or something. We have to talk. As darkness falls, the minstrel and Volfred pull you aside. We have some news that is, depending on how you look at it, potentially unfortunate. The lone minstrel directs your attention towards the dark night sky. The stars are fading. It is true. With the advent of the Titan stars, visibly fewer stars seem to be shining than what you saw in the sky above. Yes, the stars themselves are vanishing. Why, I do not yet understand. But what it indicates is this: the rites are drawing to an inexorable end. The light of the stars. Without it, the rites would be unable to commence. Anyway, that is the bad news. The good news is there are a lot of stars to go. How many liberation rites remain, I do not know as yet. The arithmetic is complicated. An estimation of the number of stars, the rate at which they fade, the accelerating rate at which we're being summoned here. Anyway, I'll work it out as soon as possible. For now, I felt that you should be aware. We can inform the others in due time. At the moment, though, they have this right to think about, and so do you. Look forth. As the stars above begin to shine, Volfred's words begin to sink in. It seems you have a limited number of chances remaining to liberate your companions, including this one now. Ah, jeez. Sylvius Horsehead. Your adversaries shall never be banished after plunging into your pyre. Oh, that's brutal. We gotta do it at some point, though.
Congratulations, reader. It would appear the rites are drawing to a close. Doubtless the doing of that Orlek in all his bitter spite. For now, your exiles have another chance at freedom here upon the fall of Solium. So too do your adversaries, the Essence. They fought so very bravely for this moment. Whichever side prevails soon shall send one of its own into the warm embrace of civilization.
Pyres burn and each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. I concur. Then anointed one of the Essence, come forth now and declare yourself. Tamitha swoops down from somewhere and unfastens her mask. I'm known as Tamitha Thane. I mean to return to my ancestral home and promptly resume my responsibilities as flight tactician. Our long stalemate against the Commonwealth shall soon be ended, should I and several of my sisters manage to rejoin our clan. Then our vengeance shall be swift and thorough. Your quarrel with the country that cast you into exile is beneath the notice of the scribes, Tamitha Thane. Here you shall be judged under the stars. My quarrel with the Commonwealth is all that gave me and my sisters strength enough to reach this point. The scribes ought well take heed of how my people suffer. We're not weaklings anymore like your Triesta Tithys. We shall not fall in line with flightless fools in their naked attempts to subsume our heritage or culture. Speak not again thus of the saint, or you shall be expelled, Tamitha. Tamitha scoffs and turns her attention toward your side. And Nightwings, as for you, the fury we shall imminently show is nothing in comparison to the hatred growing for your commonwealth in the mountains on the other side. She signals to her sisters to ready themselves. You seek your freedom, but there shall be nothing save for devastation should you manage to return. As for you, Nightwings, you bring darkness with you. What have you wrought upon the stars? Celeste, please. We do not know what is amiss here. The Nightwings have only come to see that the liberation is carried out. Indeed. Then make your choice, Nightwings. Who among you is to be anointed?
Who shall return to glory?
Edwin's enlightenment is beyond measure. Yikes, so is hers. So are all of theirs, oh boy. Who am I freeing? I'm gonna free Tizo.
Tizo.
Tizo seems stunned by your decision, though is very grateful to you for all the same.
Who shall be at his side? Edwin.
Sure thing, my friend. Now let's get Tizo home. As you will, reader.
It is done.
Nice, Jay. I don't even have a rank. One final obstacle to overcome ere I can soar again, above your commonwealth. Such destruction I shall rain upon it. Soon, but first let us dance this final time.
Commence.
Tizo the Little Watcher. As the liberation rites continue, you sense Pamitha reaching out to you, or perhaps just reaching out to anyone at all. Reader, someone, please. Let her prevail. Let her prevail. Please let her prevail here this once. If this thought makes me a traitor, so be it. But please let Tamitha prevail, for she is here wrapped up in all this because of me. The plea trails off and Pamitha remains steadfast, all her attention focused on the liberation rite. And as for Tamitha, prepare yourselves, Nightwings. And as for you, Pamitha, I await the outcome of this night, for it shall soon ensure that I may never have to see your smirking countenance again. I'm not gonna lose on purpose, screw that. Dang it. Crap. God dang it, they're so good. I hate these harpies. God dang it. Yeah, this combat's hard. Tizo, too good. Damn it. Oh my god, I was right there. Bitch. Hark now, my sisters. Damn what the book says. Advance to strike formation. Prevail here against these wretches, no matter the cost. In disregard for the way of the rights, Tamitha Thane has ordered her triumvirate to push further afield, adopting an even more aggressive stance for the remainder of this rite. Tizo's too quick, bitch!
Banished one and all.
That's what cheaters get.
And there it is, at last. The Nightwings proved their worth. As for their adversaries, they did not.
Yeah, the song during that is really cool.
Thus ends the liberation rite. And thus, the scribes have chosen.
Yeah, this game, it's basically basketball.
The exile appointed by the Nightwings shall be free.
And I control everything in real time.
Absolved of all misdeeds. Return to glory in the Commonwealth. His adversary and all others shall remain to carry out their rightful sentences.
Yeah, you just grab that ball in the middle and dunk it. That's pretty much it. Damn you for this, Pamitha. All of this because of you. Sorry, bitch. Gotta win. Tizo is stunned by what transpired, and by what he thinks is about to happen. He looks around as the reality of what transpired sinks in. He realizes now that this is goodbye, at least for the time. He struggles to express the gratitude he feels at having served the Nightwings these many years. He also does not know what to expect from the Commonwealth and whether he will be accepted. Nevertheless, he vows that he will keep doing his part to benefit Volfred's plan. With that, he splashes into the shimmer pool and is gone from view. You hear him chirping one last time. Tizo wishes for the best for each of you and asks that you remember him. Tizo earned his freedom. May he return in glory.
Godspeed, Tizo. The 8 scribes are ever merciful. By their grace, the cycle of the rites may yet continue for a while.
Maxed. The rites would have me think that I have nothing left to learn. Whether that be a falsehood or a contradiction, I am yet uncertain. Nonetheless, I shall press on, for the limits of my mastery always have exceeded my grasp, and I expect they always shall. Any adversaries banished by Jadroil take 30% longer than usual to return. We'll get greater banishment.
Until the rites begin anew.
Well, Pamitha, truly did you get the best of me again. Know that your actions put our sisters on the other side in even greater peril. Not that you care, of course. Yet I am certain that they shall someday prevail, with or without my aid. To think that I was born to share blood of someone such as you. You prevailed in the liberation against the Essence. Already does the Black Wagon feel quieter than usual without Tizo, her return to the Commonwealth. He is a venerable drive imp and quite probably the first of his kind to leave the downside. You'll even hear some of your companions reflecting on this. I miss him already. Grieve not for him. Would that we all someday achieve the same. You wonder who, if anyone among you, shall be the next to go. Then Volfred asked the group to gather. You sense you know what news he is about to share. Everyone? I must apologize to bring such news at this late hour, but I felt you all would wish to know as soon as possible. The context of our plan has changed. He looks about at everyone before revealing to them that the stars have revealed to you both. The stars above are disappearing. They seem to just be fading away, one by one, for reasons that the scribes alone may know for certain, though we all may harbor our suspicions. See for yourself, if you have any doubt that this is so. A hush falls over your companions, all exhausted from the rite, and now stunned into silence. If this phenomenon continues unabated, and we have every reason to believe it shall, then the rite shall cease when the stars no longer shine. Permanently cease, that is. Your companions exchange glances. You sense negative emotions rising, confusion, fear. Before I gave you the impression that, should the Nightwings not prevail in a liberation rite, there would be other chances. This remains so, however. Our chances now are numbered. The exact number I've yet to ascertain, but, to be quite frank, there are more of us than we have chances left. You sense your fellow exiles are beginning to realize what this means. I know this must be difficult to hear, but it is not to be a cause for panic. Our plan remains essentially unchanged. We shall take which opportunities arise and return as many as we can. I urge you all to take whatever time you need to think this through. At dawn, we shall head south again to Moonlight Alcove. We can discuss this further then. Now please get some rest. Our path grows harder, though not insurmountable. Not while we stand together. We can still prevail. The group disperses. Some whisper in hushed tones. Others turn to their quarters, speechless. There will be time later to better understand this omen. Zillivius, horse-headed. Without warning, from the cinders and that seething rock that gushed forth from the sea and soil at the foot of Black Basin rose the mare titan Zilvius. She broke the land beneath her burning hooves, whinnying vengeance upon those who thwarted dullness. We the eight, we were divided then, and blinded by the smoke and heat and thunder. But for the grace of Mother Triesta Tithys, all would have been lost. With unswerving concentration did Saint Triesta then invoke the old enchantments inscribed upon holy scepter which she bore. The land burst into starlight, rending Zilvius in twain. Her visage now strikes fear into the hearts of her foul kind, not ours. On kinship. Each one of us within the eight, besides the imp Haub, we would have perished in the downside had we not found each other and together formed our union. Here in the downside all are bound. But that which binds us here does have some latitude. We chose the bond of kinship. Our exile took precedence over our differences. The empire which had subjugated all our kind into a tense alliance shall give way to a society in which our differences are paramount. There may you embrace your ancient cultures whilst jointly forming a great culture all its own. Next to mercy, it is kinship that shall form the bedrock of our commonwealth. In spite of the late hour, you find Faye minding her own business in the wagon and talking to herself, or rather to the wagon walls. But most of all, I think I'm going to miss his little chirping sounds. He woke me up with them sometimes. He kept waking me up. He sure was a good friend to both of us, right, little brother? Why, you knew him even better than I did. Much better, I should think. So you must really miss him too. She spread her arms against the wall. I understand, I do. Those drive imps up there, they seem very sad about this too, or maybe some are happy. I don't know. More food for them to share, and they liked food. Tizo sure liked food. I wonder if he'll like the food at home. It's very different, right? And so maybe he won't? But he eats almost anything. Oh, this must be so exciting for him. And I know the scribes, they shall be watching over him still. I think maybe they love him best of all. I cannot wait to hear what he thinks of it all. And I think for sure he will help with Mr. Sandalwood's big plan. That's the great thing about Tizo, little brother. No matter where he goes, he always helps. He always helps. She bounds off without acknowledging your presence in the least. You sense that she has found some peace despite now being separated from her little friend Tizo. You hope by now that he has found safe passage in the Commonwealth. Little Tizo. Good morning, everyone. We're at the mercy of the stars, and none can say how soon they'll shine for us again. Let us recover for a while at Moonlight Alcove and decide how to proceed.